Hey everyone, welcome to this deep dive on one of the craziest animated shows out there, Rick and Morty. In this video, we're covering the entire story so far, over multiple seasons of chaotic sci-fi, dark humor, and shocking family drama. Whether you're new to the show or just want a refresher, buckle up. From flesh-eating viruses to endless Ricks in a cosmic council, this series has a knack for melding heartbreak with mind-bending comedy. Let's jump in. Our central characters might look like an average suburban family, but trust me, they're anything but. Rick Sanchez is an alcoholic super genius who left his family for decades and only recently returned. He's fearless, cynical, and dangerously curious, forever experimenting with interdimensional travel. His grandson, Morty Smith, is a 14-year-old who's sweet and well-meaning, but socially awkward. Together, they form the core duo of the show. Rick drags Morty on cosmic adventures to gather weird artifacts or escape deadly aliens, leaving Earth teetering on the brink of disaster more than once. At home, Beth, Morty's mom, and Rick's daughter, is a horse surgeon who feels a bit unfulfilled. She's proud of her intelligence, but struggles with whether she's living up to her potential, especially around her father, who shows no respect for anything outside his own brilliance. Jerry, Beth's husband, is insecure, clingy, and frequently the butt of Rick's jokes. He tries to be a good dad, but often folds under pressure. Finally, there's Summer, Morty's older sister. At first, she's more interested in social media and popularity than joining Rick's misadventures. Over time, though, she proves she can be just as adventurous and reckless as her grandpa. From the moment Rick moves in, tension brews. He believes conventional family life is a waste, while the rest want some stability. It's this clash, Rick's world of infinite possibilities versus this humdrum of everyday life, that powers the entire show. Season 1 quickly plunges us into the chaos. Rick snatches Morty out of school to gather mega seeds in a dimension of bizarre alien flora. They nearly get arrested by interdimensional customs, and Morty has to hide the seeds in a truly embarrassing place. This comedic blueprint repeats. Rick's cunning and a bit of luck get them out of one life-threatening jam after another, never without leaving a metaphorical and sometimes literal mess. A signature early twist comes when Rick inadvertently mutates Earth. In Rick Potion number 9, a love serum goes haywire and transforms the entire planet into deformed Cronenbergs. The cure fails, too. Rather than fix the dimension, Rick and Morty jump to a nearly identical reality where their counterparts have just died in a lab accident. They bury their alternate bodies and simply slide into the vacant seats at the dinner table. It's a jarring moment that reveals how casually Rick can discard entire timelines, leaving Morty and us quietly traumatized. Back on Earth, the rest of the family sees the fallout of these adventures. Beth's father once vanished from her life, and now she's overjoyed he's home. Yet his presence threatens her already fragile marriage. She adores the validation from Rick, but often has to choose between supporting his twisted science or listening to Jerry's pleas for sanity. Jerry, meanwhile, is desperate to feel useful. He's overshadowed by Rick's genius and undermined by his own insecurities. At times, we see Jerry rising to the occasion, like when mutant mantises invade. But more often, he's comic relief. Summer senses that Morty's getting all of Rick's attention. In one episode, she begs her grandpa to bring her along. She's not content to be overshadowed. This sets up a sibling rivalry. Morty's not exactly thrilled to share the spotlight, and Summer proves she can handle the madness, sometimes better than Morty can. The show's comedic tension and heartfelt drama intersect as we watch them bicker, but also fiercely defend one another if an alien or monster threatens their lives. One of the series' biggest reveals is that Rick is not unique. Across infinite universes, countless Ricks have banded together to form the Citadel of Ricks, complete with a council, a city, and armies of Mortys used as camouflage for each Rick's genius brainwaves. It's as absurd and dark as it sounds, culminating in episodes where we see everything from a Morty uprising to entire pockets of enslaved Mortys who power the Citadel's secrecy. And then there's evil Morty, the cunning version of Morty who's fed up with the entire Rick-run system. He systematically seizes power and orchestrates terrifying events, like assassinating Ricks or torturing Mortys, all to break free from what he calls the central finite curve. The Citadel arcs push the show beyond Monster of the Week adventures, delving into cosmic politics and the disturbing question, are all Ricks doomed to treat Mortis as expendable sidekicks? Layer by layer, we uncover that Rick is haunted by the loss of his wife, Diane, and possibly a younger Beth in one timeline. The elusive Rick Prime is suspected of their murder, which set our Rick, often labeled Rick C-137, on a rampage across the multiverse. This vendetta turned him into the cold, sarcastic cynic we see today. We see flashbacks. He once spent years tracking and killing Ricks who might be responsible, eventually founding the Citadel under twisted motivations. It's all fueled by deep pain. As he struggles to avenge Diane and reclaim some semblance of family, he simultaneously pushes everyone else away. Grief and genius form a volatile mix in Rick's case. Rick's adventures inevitably spill over, like the time the house is teleported into a cosmic party dimension, or Earth gets integrated into the Galactic Federation. Beth and Jerry finally can't take it, leading to their official divorce. It's a surprisingly emotional turn for a show known mostly for comedic shock value. With Jerry out of the picture, Beth starts to lean more on Rick, and Morty and Summer take sides, or try to survive the chaos. Jerry's storyline, meanwhile, sees him wandering aimlessly, grappling with the father-in-law who loathes him but still manipulates events around him. There's also the possibility that Beth might be a clone, introduced when Rick offers her a choice. Explore the universe freely, while a perfect copy stays home with the kids or remain on Earth. Her decision remains uncertain for a long stretch, adding a layer of existential doubt. Is the real Beth even here? Perhaps the biggest game changer is evil Morty's grand plan. He manipulates the Citadel, wins its presidency, and orchestrates a mass exodus from the central finite curve, a cosmic boundary isolating universes where Ricks reign supreme. By smashing that boundary, evil Morty escapes to a realm where Ricks aren't the smartest beings in existence, effectively freeing himself from Rick's cyclical oppression. This twist redefines the show's scope. Suddenly, anything might be out there, and evil Morty becomes the show's ultimate wildcard. Meanwhile, Rick's obsession with finding Rick Prime escalates. In the later seasons, that quest takes center stage. Morty, used to weirdness by now, tries to keep some sense of normalcy. But Rick's vendetta overshadows everything. Eventually, through complicated traps and tech battles, Rick confronts the man who murdered Diane. The showdown is brutal, and once Rick apparently wins, he's left directionless. If revenge drove him all these years, what happens now that he's achieved it? These episodes pack some of the show's most intense themes: the emptiness of vengeance, the cost of grudges, and how each dimension's Morty or Rick must weigh their own moral lines. There's never a simple victory. Even after an apparent triumph over Rick Prime, we're left with a fractured family that has to pick up the pieces. In the fallout, the Smith family tries to reassemble in a replacement dimension. They do that a lot. Beth and Jerry tentatively rekindle their relationship. Summer embraces her own brand of fearless independence. And Morty craves normalcy just as much as he longs for more adventures. Rick, grappling with losing his primary mission, starts to show flickers of genuine care for Morty, though he remains prickly and borderline tyrannical. They all know that another cosmic horror or multiverse fiasco is waiting around the corner. And Beth? Well, whether she's a clone or the original, she's grown bolder with each encounter. From outward defiance of Rick's arrogance to questionable relationships with her own Space Beth counterpart, the once docile mother is now armed with a thirst for exploration that mirrors her father's. So, where does this leave us? In the most recent arcs, we see glimpses of deeper personal fears. Rick's inability to move on from Diane, Morty's anxiety over losing Rick's approval, Beth's hidden insecurities, and Jerry's desperate longing for recognition. They clash, bond, and repeat the cycle. With evil Morty still out there beyond the central finite curve, and countless bizarre species and technologies left undiscovered, you can bet the show isn't done unraveling. That's the core of Rick and Morty, mixing outrageous comedy, like transforming into pickles or forging entire societies inside a battery, with some of the darkest, most philosophical questions about identity, fate, and mortality. Each episode can swing from fart jokes to heartbreak in minutes, which keeps fans glued to the screen. You never quite know whether you'll laugh, cringe, or tear up next. And there you have it, our massive journey through every major twist, betrayal, and mind-bending phenomenon in Rick and Morty so far. We've seen entire realities discarded like trash, emotional beats that hit harder than any laser gun, and an endless fractal of Ricks and Mortys locked in cosmic battles. Despite all the chaos, one truth stands. The Smith family keeps going, whether it's under the same roof or hopping timelines. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this long-form recap, let me know your favorite moments in the comments, whether it's Morty burying his own body or the shocking reveal of evil Morty's plan. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe for more deep dives, and gear up for whatever insane storyline the show drops next. Until then, keep questioning reality, and maybe stay away from any suspicious portal guns. Rick and Morty forever, 100 years. Well, you know the rest. See you next time, everyone.